then putting out the hypothesis that some of this was AI generated.
Indeed. Because how can we know that it's not?
I don't think she fully understood or was even interested in what the role was supposed to become. I mean, the idea that, you know, she hadn't earned enough brownie points.
Given that this clearly is not a bump that at all looks like a human pregnant bump. Alexandra Marshall, what do you make of this video?
Meghan and Harry said they wanted privacy, but what if that privacy was just a cover? After years of rumors, an explosive new investigation into Archie's birth has dropped fresh receipts, and the internet is losing it. No labor announcement, no doctors. A baby bump that looked more like a Hollywood prop than a royal pregnancy. And now, an edited birth certificate and digital photo evidence that's got people screaming. We were played. If you thought the royal drama peaked. With Oprah, buckle up because this makes everything else look tame.
Choose the tour she wanted to go on in the way that she wanted to do, or curate her image in the same way. You know, most people will just be like, oh, you have to kind of have skin in the game. You have to have, I'm sorry, open schools in Wales on a rainy day for a number of years before you...
When it comes to royal births, there's a script literally. Announce labor, pose for photos outside the hospital, wave at the crowd, then let the doctors do the talking. But Meghan and Harry? They tossed the whole thing in the bin. No hospital, steps, no crowd, no medical confirmation. Nothing but fog machines and filtered Instagram vibes. And let's be honest, this wasn't modern. It was calculated. Instead of celebrating with the public, they served up confusion on a silver platter. Even the announcement came late and vague, like they were trying to win an award for most mysterious birth of the year. Meghan Markle, not to be confused with Meghan Sussex, seemed more focused on curating an image than sharing a moment. Some even joked it felt like a Netflix miniseries teaser, not the birth of a royal baby. And yet, no one was laughing. Suspicion took center stage, and trust quietly left the room.
Ingratiate yourself and garner that goodwill, but I don't think she had that approach or attitude. And you could say it's very American, you know, very can-do spirit. You have
it wasn't
to
just
go
going to
for what
be
you
opening
want.
schools, was it?
Exactly.
It was, you know, the Queen had this role carved out for them.
Here's where it gets wild. The palace announced Meghan was in labor after Archie had already been born. Yes, you heard that right, time itself apparently bent to fit their narrative. Some outlets claimed he was born at 5:26 a.m. Others said to 26 a.m., which is it? In a family that documents everything down to the color of the Queen's purse, this kind of error doesn't just happen. And where was Meghan during this labor? No confirmed hospital, no footage, no staff, just radio silence wrapped in a press release. Harry acted like he just walked off the set of Suits and into a delivery room no one can prove existed. Even the firmest royal supporters raised an eyebrow, because when a timeline is this blurry, people fill in the blanks and those blanks turned into theories. Theories Meghan and Harry could have crushed in one sentence, but didn't. Instead, they let the fog grow thicker, and fans? They started to ask, if a person is not useful to her anymore, does she just ghost them? Or the truth? Oh, and one more thing, why is Harry still giving speeches like he's an active royal? It's getting a little pathetic. Charles didn't marry a yacht girl and he still knew how to stay in his lane. Just saying.
To leave, I'm afraid, and that's my opinion now. It wasn't at first. I thought, like everyone else, I thought when she first arrived, she'd be great. But I think slowly but surely, over the years, the evidence has mounted that she just didn't, intend on staying, and she's isolated Harry from her family.
This is where things went from strange to viral. Meghan's baby bump seemed to have a mind of its own. One day it looked massive, the next day it vanished like her old acting career, and then came the Getty image. A snapshot that appeared to show a pillow shifting under her dress, a literal fold. People weren't just raising eyebrows, they were pressing pause and zooming in. Getty stood by the photo's authenticity, but the internet wasn't buying it. Was it digital trickery? Was it just an awkward angle? Or was something more staged happening behind the scenes? Meghan Markle, the queen of I don't know what this means, but I'm going to say it anyway, and in this case, she said nothing. No comment, no explanation, and that silence, it spoke volumes.
That she just didn't, intend on staying, and she's isolated Harry from her family. from his family, and now we are where we are. And
I do think
very
Harry
sad.
should take a lot of the blame, though.
2 days after the so-called birth, Harry and Meghan finally showed off baby Archie. But instead of hospital steps, it was a private photo shoot inside Windsor Castle. No doctors, no nurses, no mess, just one photographer and one reporter. Like they were doing damage control before the story ever broke. They stood there looking less like glowing parents and more like actors reading cue cards. Meghan flashed that signature smile, the one that says, "I'm already thinking about my next brand deal," and Harry looked, well, trapped. Compared to William and Kate's exhausted, genuine hospital photos, this was a corporate. Press kit, one viewer nailed it. This isn't intimate, it's manufactured. Even Meghan's fans were squirming. Because when you control the image that much, people assume you're hiding something.
10 years. And I think, yes, I don't doubt that William was any less in love with Catherine as Harry was with Meghan, but he understood that it's not just about him and his feelings. There's an institution and someone's life at risk as well. You are literally ushering someone into a completely different lifestyle that many people can't even fathom.
Here's where things get downright suspicious. The official birth certificate for Archie, it didn't list the attending doctor, no signature, no witness. That's unheard of for a royal birth. Then weeks later, Meghan's full name was quietly removed. Rachel Meghan Markle vanished and was replaced with Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Why erase her actual name from her own child's birth record? Some say it was the palace's doing. Others think Meghan did it herself to distance from the public. Either way, it's weird, really weird. Even Harry's details got changed. Most people can't even update their gym membership without ID yet somehow. The royals casually re-edited a legal birth document like it was a Word doc, and once again, no explanation because apparently transparency is for commoners.
And I don't think Harry had that approach. He just thought, here's this beautiful, articulate woman, I'm head over heels in love with her, I'm going to shoehorn her into this institution and it must bend to her will because...
Think about this. No confirmed hospital, no photos of Meghan arriving or leaving, no medical team stepping forward. In every royal birth before this, we got doctors waving, press lined up outside, hospital security going full lockdown. But with Archie, nothing, just silence and a fancy photo shoot 2 days later. It's like the whole thing happened in a vacuum. No behind the scenes moments, no candid footage. Not even a blurry shot of Harry pacing a hallway. Just a picture-perfect royal smiling like this was an audition tape for The Crown. Behind closed doors. People aren't asking for a live stream, but come on. Even Beyoncé shared more when she gave birth, when every single detail is blurred or missing. People don't trust the story, they start writing their own. And Meghan gave them a pen, a blank page, and a whole lot of questions.
Because we have more cachet than they think we do. And that's the fundamental difference. I don't think necessarily she dragged him from the family. I just think Harry was very unwise. He was not a very wise person, and I don't think he chose someone who was culturally a very good fit for the institution. And in Meghan's mind, she probably just thought, actually, this isn't for me. And leaving was not something that was much of a problem for her because I don't think she had that kind of ties to it, emotional connection to the institution in the first place.
When Meghan sat down with Oprah, people expected truth. Instead, they got a script filled with half-facts and high drama. Meghan claimed Archie was denied a royal title because of his race, a headline that exploded worldwide. But here's the problem. That's not how the rules work. According to royal tradition, Archie wasn't entitled to a title at birth, just like other distant heirs. William's kids only got theirs early because the Queen stepped in. So, did Meghan lie? Not exactly. She just told a version that made her the victim. Classic move. But when you twist facts to fit your narrative, the audience catches on. Even Oprah looked like she was silently questioning things. The whole thing smelled like spin, and the timing, perfectly convenient. If this was supposed to shut down conspiracy theories, it only gave them more fuel.
Well, Sticked it for very long though, did she?
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, but a year or two after a massive great wedding that cost us all about £30 million. I mean, I think she could have put in at least 5 years before deciding it wasn't
Absolutely
not a year,
no,
not
not
18
5
months,
years.
Not 18 months, you know.
Well, I've said this before. I think I think Harry was very much, he lost a couple of partners in the past because I think things had gone wrong, or the press exposure, or the
He was
pressure.
terrified of losing
And I
her.
think he was,
Yeah, he just wanted to lock her down.
Yeah.
And we are where we are. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they look like they were making a pretty good go of their marriage because...
You'd think after all the backlash, Meghan and Harry would use their Netflix stock to finally clear things up. Nope. Instead, they doubled down with emotional montages, slow-motion walks, and tearful sound bites. It felt less like a documentary and more like a carefully curated sob story. They played the hits racism, media bullying, toxic family dynamics, but never once explained the inconsistencies around Archie's birth. No mention of the disappearing doctor. No clarity on the photo shoot. No comment on the birth certificate. Edits, just more fog. One viewer joked, "What empire?" Meghan has no empire, and really what's the brand here? Victimhood? Confusion? Because if you're asking people to feel for you while avoiding basic facts, don't be shocked when they stop buying it. Here's what really drove people crazy: the silence. Meghan had every chance to shut down the surrogacy rumors. A simple statement, a quick Instagram post, even a grainy photo of her in a hospital gown, but she said nothing, and when people asked, she ghosted, which, let's be honest, is kind of her thing. As one comment put it, if a person's not useful to her anymore, she ghosts them. Savage, but hard to argue. Instead of controlling the story, they let speculation run wild, and when you say nothing, you leave room for everyone else to say everything. Every influencer, every gossip blog, every royal critic filled in the blanks. Some believed the rumors, others didn't, but no one was satisfied. Because silence might protect your privacy, but in this case, it destroyed your credibility.
That she just didn't, she didn't intend on staying, and
I think
she's isolated Harry from her family, from his family, and now we are where we are. And it's,
I do think
very
Harry
sad.
should take a lot of the blame though.
And putting out the hypothesis that some of this was AI generated.
Indeed. Because how can we know that it's not?
At this point, the damage was done. By refusing to clear the air, Meghan and Harry basically handed the internet a conspiracy kit. No hospital photos? Check. No medical staff? Check. A photo shoot that felt like an Apple product launch? Double check. The edited birth certificate was just the icing on the suspicious cake. People aren't stupid. They connect dots, and Meghan basically drew the outline for them. One moment she's preaching authenticity, the next she's erasing her own name. From documents, come on. Even Tyler Perry fans started asking questions. Come on, Tyler, wake up. She's not your friend. Tell us the truth. The crazy part, this didn't have to happen. They could have just been honest. Instead, they got exposed by their own smoke and mirrors. Now the only empire left standing is the one built on public doubt. So here's where we're at: a royal birth wrapped in secrecy, a photo that broke the internet, no doctors, a vanishing name, and a timeline that makes less sense than Prince Harry's speeches pretending he's still royal. It's not just messy, it's calculated. Meghan and Harry had every chance to clear the air, but instead, they lit the match and walked away. Was it all a cover-up? A PR stunt gone wrong? Or did they just think we wouldn't notice? Either way, people aren't letting it go, and honestly, they shouldn't, because when powerful people rewrite the facts and erase their names from official records, it's not just strange, it's strategic. There's more to this story. And trust me, what's coming next might just make this look tame. If you caught something we missed, let us know below, because this investigation, it's just getting started.